Hello, welcome back. What are we looking at? Well, we're looking at everyone hitting the like button for starters. Make sure you do that. I won't start until everyone who's watching presses the like button. Hey, that was fast. All right. We got the new Avengers Annual #1. This is the wedding of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. So, all the Netflix series were on years ago, right? And now they're canon, I guess, in the MCU. Daredevil's show is coming out, and we'll see what happens with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Like, they had a little bit of a, they were fucking, basically, in the Jessica Jones series. And in the comics, they were also fucking, but they became much more. They got in a relationship. She got pregnant. They had a child together. But he wanted to marry her, but she was always saying no. So we got the new Avengers Annual. This is written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, Olivier Coipel, who is one of my favorite artists of all times. I first was introduced to him in the House of M storyline. I'm definitely going to get into that book at some point. And this is, I did the first 6 issues of New Avengers, and in the back it says to be continued in New Avengers number 22. So some time has gone, and I'm going to be doing more of issues of New Avengers since the first one that got to this point. But I don't know, with them talking about what's going to happen with all the Netflix shows and the Defenders characters, I just thought this would be kind of a cool one shot to do. And I love this guy's art. I love it so much. He has a cartoony style. He doesn't have a lot of like lines for details, but it's in a realistic way also. It's hard to describe. He can draw them in a comic books way, but in realistic poses. So, at the end of the first 6 issues of the New Avengers, they ran into Yelena Belova, the Black Widow, the blonde Black Widow. She's in the MCU. Fun character there, but much different in the comics. And at the end of that issue, she got fucked up by the Avengers. She got, like, French fried by Sauron. And it ended with her in bandages and somebody coming up to you and saying, like, if you ever had the chance, would you get revenge on them? And she said yes at the end of that. So now it's picking up from there. So it has this issue up, this panel up here, and this is like some old school art. I don't know if they took this right out from an old issue of Avengers, but there's this thing called the Adaptoid, and they're talking to her. And there's like, remember, like when they took away everything, your livelihood, your pretty face, I asked you if you're interested in seeing what we have to offer. You said yes. So this is what we have to offer. So they have these AIM, Advanced Idea Mechanics, these AIM guys with the beekeeper helmets. And they're able to synthesize the Adaptoid's unique biology. They know how it works. So they say they can make you as powerful and as beautiful as you deserve to be. You can strike back at these rebel heroes using their own powers to beat them. And as far as I'm concerned, the more public a beating you can give them, the better for it, especially Jessica Drew. That's interesting. Except, not especially, except Jessica Drew. We have a lot invested in her, but, things happen in the heat of battle. So what do you say? So I don't know anything about the Adaptoid. You can kind of guess based on the name of it. It adapts. Whatever. So we got Avengers Tower, New York City. Now Avengers Tower has this weird sentry thing, architecture on top of it. You got all the new Avengers here. plus Ms. Marvel. Not Captain Marvel yet. She's still Miss Marvel. And you got Spider-Man's family, I guess, is hanging out with them also. So who do we got here? We got Miss Marvel. We got Mary Jane right here. I like that picture of Mary Jane. She's with that sweater coming off her shoulders. Stupid Aunt May. You got Iron Man. Iron Man's there. Captain America's there. There's Sentry. You got Jarvis, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Spider-Man in his iron spider suit. This is, what's her name? Linda. That's the Sentry's wife. And Spider-Woman. And he took the opportunity. And you got Jessica Jones. Not Jessica Drew, Jessica Jones. And she's like, Luke Cage prepared to die. You did this. And they're all like, oh, look who it is. Like, she's such a great person, you know. And she's got the baby. She's out shopping and stuff. She's, you know, being a mom and she's having a hard time. Luke, come on, get off your ass and help. And Mary Jane's like, let me look at that baby. And Spider-Man's, here we go. There's a little cute, adorable baby. All the girls are gushing over it. And, you know, Jessica Jones is like, make me an offer. You can have the fucking kid. I've often said that with my kid. Like, you want him? Who wants him? Obviously, I'd never give him up in a million years. And then Jarvis gives her a drink. She's happy, you know, because she has that. Look at the beautiful baby. Everyone's just happy. They're gushing over the baby, except Jessica Drew. She's like, ew, get it away from me. Some people just don't like kids, and I get it. That's fine. And Luke Cage is like, are you okay? You know, it's like, and she's not saying anything. He's like, okay, you're starting to scare me. Is everything all right? I like this. Mary Jane, sexy ass Mary Jane in her outfit, giving the baby to Spider-Man. His spider sense is going off. Did the baby poop? I don't know. And Jessica Jones just says to Luke Cage, yes. Yes what? It's like, you asked me to marry you. I'm saying yes. And he has that starry look in his eyes. He's happy. He's all dumbfounded. And he's all happy. Woo, yes, she said yes, we're getting married. And they're all like, congratulations, good job. You're going to love being married. Mary Jane loves being married. Like, I don't know, like just this shot of Mary Jane right there. I just really like that side profile. It looks realistic, but it's like, has a comic book vibe. And she's like, why did you do that? Why did you make a spectacle of it? He's like, you know what, you can't get out of it now. You committed. So everyone's happy for them, but Tony's like, okay, we gotta go, the three of us. They're going to some meeting. Wolverine's like, who are you guys meeting? And they're meeting the mayor, Iron Man, Cap, and Sentry here. And what are they talking about? They're just kind of going over like what the Avengers are doing, what their plans are. And the mayor doesn't like it. It's like, we got the Baxter Building with the Fantastic Four. Now we got Avengers Tower. It's just a lot of superhero stuff for one city. I don't like it. Captain America's there. Goddamn dogs. So they're just speaking with the mayor and trying to just make him feel better about what the Avengers are doing. But suddenly someone comes up and they say hi. And Tony sees her and he's like, oh no. And what happens? We're not really sure. It cuts back to the baby. And like Jessica Jones is on the phone with her mom. And it's like, I'm telling you now. How am I supposed to tell you when it just happened? Like her mom's like, why didn't you tell me you got engaged? I'm like, I'm telling you right now. I like this little, you know, the little unique details that they put, you know, Mary Jane and Spider-Man and I call her Captain Marvel. I'm sorry. That's who she is to me. Ms. Marvel is there watching them, messing with the baby, all having a good time, but they hear something. Sentry got like punched and hit. And they're like, holy fuck, how many floors are we up? 36. I'm like, that's not a good sign. So Avengers, it's time to assemble. Yeah, Ms. Marvel wasn't part of the team, but she's just, you know, she has friends here. She's hanging out. She might as well be part of the team. So they all go charging out. And they come down here, Cap's down, Sentry's down. Fucking Yelena here. I don't know what she's wearing. She looks fucking crazy. Not disfigured, but mutated. Something. Ms. Marvel comes in. You picked the wrong address. Dexter won. And Cap's trying to get the mayor to safety. Spider-Man's funny here. I'm relatively new to the superhero group thing, but shouldn't we have a policy about people just dropping by to get their butts kicked? Shouldn't they require an appointment of some sort? And they're like, oh, Danvers, I didn't expect to see you here. This is going to be good. And, like, she punched her, but, like, what is she, like, mimicking her outfit here? That's kind of what she was doing here with the Sentry. She's looking like she was wearing the Sentry's clothes. I don't get it. And then she's like, oh, shit, you guys have to get out. But they're coming in. They're ready to fucking wail on her. Like, Ms. Marvel Carol here, she knows what this is, what's going on. But the rest of them don't. Wham! Something happens, and what is this, an eye looking at them? I don't know. They just get punched away, flying through the air. No offense, boys, but I really want to make sure I get my hands on your Captain America. I really have a thing for him. I don't know why she has it out for him. So Cap's racing away with the mayor, telling him to put a seatbelt on. And she's just like racing along the sides of the building. You can see the speed as she's coming up in the rear view mirror. Objects are closer than they appear. Cap's trying to get away. She's like chasing them down. She's got these weird like webbed wings things like Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. I don't, you know. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I get the basic idea. She adapts. I think she like mimics the other superheroes around their powers, but I don't know. Chasing Captain America. And he's like, what are you doing? Hopefully driving better than she can fly. Maybe she doesn't, just because she has the power, doesn't know she knows how to use them. And he goes around a corner, I think, and she tries to follow, but smacks into a building. But she has unbreakable skin, thanks to Luke Cage, you know? So Sentry comes down. I don't know what you did to me back there, but it really ticked me off. But in the distance, he got hit away again. And they're like, what the fuck? Oh no, what? And Carol here, Ms. Marvel, I know what that girl is. He can't win. He's going to die. That's what she says there. And if you know anything about the Sentry, that's a fucking big deal. So they're fighting. When he tells why you're attacking us, shut up. Fuck that, just die. She kisses him. What is this, a fucking X-Men comic book? You know what I mean? And so, like, the civilians are watching. I mean, Jessica Jones has powers, but, you know, she's looking after her baby. And I like this. This is something I always enjoyed. So you got all the Avengers here, right? And aside from Captain America, and I guess you could say Iron Man, none of them have been in a team except for Wolverine, right? And Wolverine has a lot of experience. He's old and everything. So I like that he's kind of taking command. He knows what to do. He knows how to act within a team. Okay, guys, we have to take positions. Listen to me. Think smart. The fight's coming back down here. This is what we do. I really like that little character moment of Wolverine. So, fighting Sentry, just beating the fuck out of him. So, Carol catches him, tosses him to Jessica Drew, and they fall, and Luke Cage catches them, and Spider-Man helps him, catches all of them in his webs. They're doing a thumbs up and okay, symbol kind of thing. Teamwork is what makes the dream work. So Ms. Marvel, I like that, the anatomy that he draws on her. He's just one of my favorite artists, and he just gets better and better. So Ms. Marvel's like, hey, I can absorb power too, so I'm going to have to double my powers because I'm taking my powers back from you. She's like, you're still fat. That's kind of silly and funny. Iron Man, Carol said it's a super adaptoid thing. How many of you did she touch? She's like, just all of us. He's like, you never touch an adaptoid. And Spider-Man tells him, like we knew that. God, what the fuck you want from us? So, throws Ms. Marvel out and looks over, and here comes Iron Man swooping in. And he's like, you fought an adaptoid before? The original, was it like a biological neural network memory load kind of thing? So once one neural network memory set is loaded, what if there were 5 of me? Would she only load just the one of me or all 5 of me? I don't know. Spider-Man's just trying to figure something out. It's like, what difference does it make? How many centuries does she need to beat the hell out of the city? And Spider-Man, he's fucking smart, right? He wisecracks and whatever, but he's like, a scientist. He's like, no, flip it. And like, Tony here has like a realization of what he means. I don't get it. But he was going at her. They were going to crash in, but then he like sideswipes or dodges her. He's like, just stall her. And she calls him a coward. And Spider-Man, that's judgmental. And he's trying to distract her, webs her up a little bit, jumps on her. Don't worry, I'm not hitting on you. I'm just hoping with your relative inexperience with flying makes it easier to do this. And he's grabbing onto her hair, and he's riding her like a fucking mechanical bull. Crashes her into a rooftop. So he webs her up. What is going on here? He's looking at her. There's her ass. And then he kicks her in the ass. Here's a little something to tell your grandkids about. I don't know. Is he looking around like with her ass in the air and he just like kicks her right in the ass? That's kind of funny. What was that, Bruce Lee behind on a billboard or whatever? So he fucks off. He's like, I gotta go. And this is kind of a cool image, like, of her looking around. It's not her having 2 heads. It's just to show that she's, like, flipping her head back and forth looking. She gets hit by Captain America's shield. Swoom. Wham. And Cap's, he's down here. You see his shield in the distance, and he catches it back. So that's some cool stuff. She's chasing Cap. Spider-Woman jumps in, fries her brain there, knocks her down for a bit. Should have done that in the Savage Land when I had a chance, Spider-Woman says. Yeah, that's right. I know exactly who you are, you double-crossing, backstabbing. So she knows she's the Black Widow. Grabs up on Black Widow, and Wolverine is there on the side. It's like, now! And Ms. Marvel throws Wolverine, fastball special Avengers style. And Wolverine goes crashing into her, gets her away from Spider-Woman, and he does this, she slams on the ground, but he does this little tuck and roll and jumps off the edge of the building. That's just a kind of cool little, wow, kind of cool stuff. So, Spider-Woman's falling, Spider-Man grabs her, she says, thanks, I couldn't get it together. It's like, you need bigger web pits. Webs up some webbing down here for Wolverine. He's like, well done, kid. And she looks down at Wolverine. He's like, well, you're stuck now, but Iron Man shows up. He's like, lie down on your stomach and surrender, basically. And she's like, you arrogant son of a bitch, you just killed yourself. I have all of your powers. I have all of you now. And he says, not quite all. And here's all these Iron Man armors. Old school ones, new school, just all the different variations, all the different marks. And they start firing at her. And Spider-Man's like, yeah, that was my idea. They're talking about, how does he do that? Like, he's got tricks up his sleeve. Like, no, seriously, how does he do that? How is he controlling all of them? So he's sitting up on a roof somewhere, and he's remote controlling, B12 repulsor ray, R43 right punch, FS left punch. So, just repulsor ray, punch, 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 repulsor ray, blah, blah, blah. Now, how about a group hug? So, I guess they all converge on her. A little unclear. There's a blast or some light. Spider-Woman. No. Is that Spider-Woman? No, that's fucking the bad guy. And they're just shooting at her all at once. But she's taking them out. She's fighting back. She's crushing them. And she's destroying the armors. She's saying, you can't beat me. I have Wolverine's mutant healing factor and unbreakable bones. I have Luke Cage's unbreakable skin. You can't beat me. But then Sentry's here. And he's telling her, you know, something happens to her. He says, you stole my powers. And what I learned the hard way with powers like mine is every day you have to fight to keep the demons down. One slip and the madness that waits for me is all consuming. So like Sentry has this weird shit going on with the Void, like a dual personality that he's like keeping inside. Something like that. It's a weird alien entity that gives him his powers. If you've become the Sentry, then you must also become the Void. Everything you do or say is the Sentry must be answered for. And the Void comes to do just that. So, the Void is fucking her up mentally. So, they beat her, basically. They captured her. And they're like, tell us who did this. Who turned you against us? Where are they? And he's like, tell us and we can send the Void away. And she's like, no, I can't. They're going to kill me. The Void is right in her mind or whatever. Where? She's like pleading for them. Like, please don't. And the bad guys are watching the live. Like, they can see it through her eyes. They see what she sees. And they know she's gonna fess up. So they say, pull the plug. And then suddenly something just like clicks in her head here. And she's like saying, help me. And this is fucking weird and creepy. And something inside her just like expands and blows up. And she just pops. And they're like, fuck, man. And they're just looking at the pile of goo. And they're like, what did you do to her? Sentry says, I didn't do that. Dude, I didn't do it. And they're like, no, someone hit a fizzer. A molecular destruct button. But they're like, they who? And they're asking, have you ever had any dealings with the Black Widow? He's like, yeah, in the Savage Land like the rest of you. And where else? Don't lie to me. She's like, what the fuck? Hey, if this was Hydra, they took the attack to our home. I don't take that lightly. I didn't before Wanda. I doubly don't now. She's like, why the fuck are you yelling at me? I know we all agreed to let you play with both sides of the coin between us and Hydra because it's half our fault. You have to, but I do have a limit. So, I'm trying to remember. Somewhere in between all those issues, between the beginning and now, they must have figured out that she was playing them. But anyways, Captain America is like, okay, calm down, Tony. And he says, I don't like not knowing who I'm fighting. And she says, well, it's not me. And everyone's kind of quiet. And they all fly away, leaving Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew, and Cap with each other. Says he doesn't mean it. Didn't mean it. So yes, he did. Then we cut to a wedding, because it's a fucking wedding issue, right? So we got a priest or whomever. You got, I keep wanting to say Captain Marvel. Ms. Marvel in her military uniform, Cap there. People in the background. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. Stan Lee is the priest or whatever. And going through things, Luke, will you honor her, cherish her, all those kinds of things. He says yes. And he starts with Jessica. And she says, I will, you know. I do. And before he can finish, she says, wait, wait. And Luke has this worried look on his face. And Cap says, uh-oh, this is awkward. And she basically goes in, he's like, these are just words. They're just words. I'm using someone else's words to dedicate my life to you, and that's nuts. I want you to know I truly believe that together we are as much better than we are apart. And not in that creepy way, really. I'm inspired by you. The world is a scary place. You being an Avenger, it's so scary. Every day there's some idiot in our face trying to ruin it. And ever since we got together, I just haven't cared. And no goon attacked us at our wedding. I'm going to take that as a good sign. And even if the worst happens, it's a weird feeling, but I know for a fact we can deal with it. Like, look at that kid over there. We made her. And I love watching you be a father. My wife and I do that same thing. Sometimes we just look at our kid. He's about 18 months old, a year and a half. Sometimes we look at him and we're like, oh my God, that's our kid. Like, we have a kid. And my wife has said this to me too. She loves watching me be a father. She talked about that before we had a kid. She wanted to see me as a dad. I was hesitant, but it happened, and couldn't be more happy for it. Anyways, back to the comic. As much as so she says I wore this dress for you, so that's why I said yes to all the crazy. That's why. And so now, he says, I now pronounce you man and wife. And they kiss. That's a very beautiful drawing. Very nice kiss. And then all the Avengers there together taking a picture at the wedding. Iron Man, Sentry, Captain America, Jessica Drew, Wolverine, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Carol Danvers, Peter Parker, and the baby. Nice little annual episode issue with some really good art. It ties in with the other comics. This was before Civil War happened. It's ramping up because Spider-Man's got the Iron Spider armor going on. But I love the way he draws. He can draw sexy women when he needs to. He can draw like emotions and faces. He can draw, super heroic poses. He does action really well. He's just in my top 5, if not my top 3 favorite artists of all time. I'm not sure what he's doing now. I mean, he did a bunch of stuff with Avengers. He did a lot of stuff with Thor. I picked up one book. It was an independent book about magic that he did. I can't remember. I think Mark Millar wrote it. I don't know if I've finished reading it, though. But I just really like him as an artist, and I'll probably pick up anything that he draws. So, there it is. New Avengers stuff. I want to do more New Avengers. Before I do House of M, I did some New Avengers stuff, but it's a crossover that also heavily involved the X-Men. So I'm going to do some Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon that was going around the same time. And then I'll do House of M. So it kind of seems like, a culmination of everything. But thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, because that's what you do during the wedding. You hit that like button. So thank you everyone for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.